I hate this time of year. I hate this time of year. That is what I used to say to myself on a regular basis. I used to absolutely hate December. And for year after year, I used to absolutely dread this time of year. And I don't know if you can relate. If you can relate, then by all means feel free to share this video if you're watching it. Because I went through years and years of absolutely dreading the Decembers. I don't know if you can relate. It used to remind me of how much money I don't have. It used to remind me of the relationship I don't have. It used to remind me that my family weren't around. It used to remind me of a lot of things. And if you hear some noise in the background, that's just because I'm recording this at home and I've just had a beautiful young little girl. But I used to literally dread December. And December used to be the month I hated the most. And I just saw it as this magnifying glass that it simply showed me what I don't have in my life. Now, of course, I know now it's a choice. But I'm recording this video because this time of year, a lot of people sink into depression. The stress levels go out the roof. The pressure to buy and to spend more money that we don't have goes crazy. Like the shopping sprees and the pressure to have to buy stuff with money you don't have is madness. And I remember the days where I used to spend Christmases on my own because I was too proud to go around to people's houses. I was too I was too reserved to even want to admit that I didn't have a house to go to for Christmas. So I've spent my time in front of the TV eating lasagnas on my own on Christmas days. I sometimes, even if I would go, I'd only go for a few hours because I just felt completely inadequate. It's a depressing time of year if you let it be depressing. But here's the thing, and my message is a message of perseverance. And my message is a message that I invite you to keep going and keep seeing the small victories, the little things, the little wins that will allow this December and any December moving forwards to be one of pleasure and of joy. And it's through the perseverance and the consistency and the ability to really see the little wins in our lives that will allow you to have a good time, that will help you combat the depression, that will help you combat the stress, and also learning to say no when it comes down to, what you can and can't buy. I'd highly recommend do not get yourself into debt for the sake of getting a present you can't afford. And it was through those times where I persevered and I started to look at the small wins in my life, and I started to look at the small victories that I had in December's that allowed me to turn it round, and for December to be a pleasant month, for it to be a time of reflection, for it to be a time that I can sit back and go, wow, this is what I've done throughout the year, versus sit there and beat myself over the head with a hammer because of what I hadn't achieved. Let go of New Year's resolutions and just see this whole month as a month of reflection and really start to count what you've done well. Because instead of going, I hate this month, you'll learn to go, I appreciate this month. And I appreciate this month for what it is, and I appreciate the progress that I have made, and I'm going to look forward to where I want to go, and removing the judgment. And the more you start to look at fulfillment in the year, and you start to look necessarily what you haven't achieved, the more this month will be less stressful, less depressing, more joyful, and will allow you to actually have a good December. And of course, look, I know there's the family thing as well. Do we get on? Do we not get on? But again, come from a place of wanting to fulfill and having a good time without it being booze induced or escapism, but just to have a good time, to be present. It doesn't mean suddenly you have to love everybody in your family. It just means you have to accept everybody in your family. Accept them for who they are, not who you want them to be. So instead of going through a month of depression, stress, anxiety, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break and start to look at all the progress you have made. Look at the progress you want to make. Look at the small victories. Maybe do a list of 50 small things that you've achieved over the last 12 months. Don't put yourself under stress buying things you shouldn't buy and you can't afford to buy. Buy within your means and set out to have a fulfillment as in a time of fulfillment during this period versus necessary enforced happiness. And that's my message for you. And have a great holiday season and a great 2017. Bye.